News outlets are now reporting that the U.S. is at risk of an 18-month-long blackout. And blackout meaning a power outage, because the power grid would fail because the power grid and the infrastructure is not being updated. They're not updating it regularly, and so it's having issues. And because it's having issues, because it's not being updated so regularly, now it's being reported that there's the possibility of an 18-month-long blackout. But I just find it interesting that this is announced after what's happening in Indiana. Like, now this is being put into the news once Indiana is experiencing a prolonged blackout. And it just makes me think about Cuba as well, and almost as if that whole scenario was basically just foreshadowing, or, you know, hypothetically a test for what was to come that is now occurring in Indiana, but is now, because of what is happening in Indiana, being reported that the infrastructure is weak and not being updated, to the point where now the U.S. is at risk of an 18-month-long blackout. Like, 18 months of no power and no electricity quite literally is like world changing. And, you know, this could be something that's being put out there so that, you know, people go out and start prepping, and so therefore start buying a bunch of things from these companies, and, you know, therefore causing people to participate within the capitalism because of their fears of a possible outage for 18 months. But it's just so crazy to me. It's actually so insane because it's all based on fear, but it's like, even though it is based on fear, it's not that these things aren't happening. And it's like, but the fear just feels so manufactured at times, to the point where it's like, oh, so these are, you know, tactics being used in order to make people feel the emotion of fear, to then therefore act on those emotions, which honestly seems to just be, you know, continuing to participate within this system. It's just a lot.
Guys, my name is Judith. You're welcome back to my channel. Bestie, today we need to talk about something that honestly deserves much more attention. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing there is no electricity, no light, no air conditioning, no refrigerator, no way to charge your phone, and for some families, no way to keep important equipment running. Now imagine that this doesn't last for a few hours. It lasts for days. In some communities, people have reportedly gone without power for more than a week after several storms. And while regular families are sitting in the heat, losing food and worrying about their safety, there is another side of this story that I think we need to talk about. The United States is experiencing a huge increase in the demand for electricity because of artificial intelligence and massive data centers. These facilities need an incredible amount of electricity to operate. And that brings us to the biggest question. Who gets the power when there isn't enough to go around? Because if a community is sitting in darkness, why a giant technology facility continues operating? People are naturally going to ask questions. Is this the system being designated around ordinary people anymore? Or is it being designed around cooperatives that can pay the biggest bills? Look at what happened in places like Gary and Memphis, Tennessee. People were dealing with serious power outage after severe storms. Families were struggling, schools were affected, food was spoiling, and vulnerable people were placed in very difficult situations. At the same time, massive technology companies are building bigger and bigger data centers that requires enormous amounts of electricity. Now, I am not saying every blackout is caused by AI. That would be too simple. Storm can destroy power lines, aging infrastructure can fail, equipment can break, but we absolutely should be asking whether America is investing enough in its power grid to handle this new demand. Because if we are going to power the future with artificial intelligence, we also need to make sure ordinary people aren't left behind. And that is what we are talking about today. So grab your drink, get comfortable, and let's go into it. Let's start with the basic problem. America Jamaica's power grid is old. A lot of the infrastructure that carries electricity across the country has been around for decades. And now we are entering a period where electricity demand is growing rapidly. AI data center, electricity vehicles, factories, home and businesses all need power. So the question becomes, can the existing grid handle all? So the question becomes, can the existing grid handle all of this? Because building an enormous data center is one thing, making sure that it's enough reliable electricity to support it is another thing entirely. And this is where people are becoming concerned. Some communities are seeing huge investment in data center while still dealing with aging local infrastructures. That can create tension. People start asking why.
An update on this power outage situation. It's looking like this is becoming a national issue. They're saying Gary, Indiana, massive parts of Georgia, and Memphis, Tennessee are all without power right now because of storms, but they've been on a prolonged period of time. And then we saw Long Beach, 26,000 people in Long Beach last night, Long Beach, California, because people always ask me about Long Beach, we're also without power. And they're claiming that's because of the heat. What is happening right now? I can understand in California because everybody running their AC might shut it down, but Gary, Indiana, storms 2 weeks ago, that doesn't make sense. Memphis, Tennessee, they're saying a tornado touched down, like, okay, but all of these people are without power because of one tornado. The dude I just watched talk about this, he just said Georgia, so I don't know what part of Georgia or why. So if you're in Georgia and you don't have power, go ahead and drop that and let me know. But my tinfoil folks, is this starting to be kind of odd? I mean, I don't know, are all these massive storms and crazy weather the reasons, or are there other reasons? And if you're in other parts of the country right now and you're without power and have been for a prolonged period of time, type where you're at, or if you've heard about it, you're not there, but you know people that are there, or you've seen other creators talk about it, also drop that, because I feel like this is getting suspicious. Let me know if you guys think the same.
I'm going to tell y'all why those lights went out in Indiana. They're building a massive new AI data center. And when I say massive, I'm talking about 1,000 acres. But that's not the only thing. In Sullivan County, Indiana, the crew that is working on that data center hit a power line that supplies tornado sirens. Now, that's just what they're saying, that they made a mistake and hit a power line while they're building that AI center. I wouldn't doubt it if they're taking that power and pushing it towards that AI data center and just calling it a power outage. We all know that those AI centers require something very big, a lot of land and a lot of power. And the fact that they've been without power for 8 or 9 days, what happens if a tornado comes through while those sirens aren't working? And if you notice, they're building these massive AI facilities in rural areas where the land is cheap. A lot of them are being placed in predominantly Black and low-income communities. They don't care about people living in these communities. Those AI centers are profitable. We all remember what happened before. Remember when they ran highways through Black communities? They put up factories, refineries, landfills, not to mention toxic industries around Black communities. And what happened? Those families were left dealing with pollution, sickness, displacement, and reconstruction. And that's exactly what's going to happen when all these AI data centers are built.
Okay, y'all, this is day 11 for Gary, Indiana. And yes, I live here. I've lived here all my 65 years. So they're doing a giveaway of of cleaning supplies and some food. And it starts at 12. It's presently 11:04. And they've been out here since 8 o'clock this morning with chairs, umbrellas, everything, getting ready. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay, there's never any cars on my block because there's only like 5 houses. But here we go. People have been in line for the longest, starting to drizzle a little bit. But people are all the way down the block in both directions. There's never any cars down here, but everybody's been down here since this morning, waiting in line. Long line at that. Let's see if I can. Okay, I guess I can't. But this is how far back. Hi.
I'm looking at your nails.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so looking all the way back to the far back as this goes, because this is the farm, the church and the farm, where they have goats and chickens and ducks and such. I don't know how to increase the size. I tried. So there's the little goats. And the mosquitoes have declared war, I promise. Like if you walk past... Oh, a bee. Sorry, y'all. That video went bad. So if you walk past like one of the dead trees or trees that's laying on the road, they will come and attack you out of those brush. But yes, they're doing a giveaway, and the giveaway does not start until noon, and they've been out here since 8 o'clock, all the way down the block. They finally had to, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if I can lift it high enough, they have the police now on the premises because it was getting crazy, people cussing and clowning, and this is a church that's doing the giveaway. But this is day 11, folks. Day 11. And people are tired and angry and bitter. Some people are going home. They're not going to even stay. They're packing up because people brought their bag chairs because they knew they were going to have to sit for a while. So that's that. I will report back when I get a chance. Day 11. Talk to y'all later.
Okay, I got an update. Gary, Indiana has been without power for the last 9 days, and nobody was talking about it, and I thought it was crazy, so I made a video, and God willingly, people talking about it. With that being said, we got an announcement. We are teaming up with not only the Salvation Army, but the city of Gary, Indiana, to throw an event Monday. The exact location and time will be shared on my story when we get close. But for now, I can tell y'all what we're going to have at the event. So my family and Salvation Army will both be bringing trucks full of supplies. And it's not only just my family and the Salvation Army. Tyrese Halliburton found out what we was doing, and he matching our contribution. God is amazing. So we're going to have supplies. We're going to have a DJ that's provided directly by the city of Gary. And I got over 1,000 messages of restaurants and food trucks and people who sell food that want to get involved. So we're going to open it up for everybody who want to contribute. So if you are a food truck or a restaurant that would like to contribute, you can reach out to this email and we can coordinate it. And also, if you want to contribute and send supplies, which again, I had over 1,000 people that said they want to do it, you can send it to this address. And if you want to volunteer with us, you can go to this website, thesalvationarmy.org, and you can sign up to be a volunteer. And I know it's not turning the power on, but it is a place for community. If you want some supplies or you need some supplies, come get some. If you want some food or you need some food, come get some. If you want to listen to some music or you need that sense of people being around you, come get some. And I'm going to continue to talk about it because I think this should be a national conversation. And it's insane to me that it's not. So until it is, y'all going to hear me. God is amazing. I'll see you on Monday. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. Again, it wouldn't be possible without y'all. It wouldn't be possible without the people who are willing to join the efforts with us. And I'll see y'all.
Okay, everybody's freaking out that America could be facing an up to 8-month blackout. First of all, this is going to be one of those videos where I am going to say, yeah, worry a little bit, but overall, I think everybody should calm down. First of all, why are we at risk for a potential blackout across the United States? First, the rapid expansion of AI data centers. Secondly, the rapid rise of the use of electric vehicles. Climate change, extreme weather in the summer and winter are putting a strain on our electrical systems. And an aging infrastructure. In fact, 75% of the infrastructure that's now in place in the United States is past their life expectancy. But something is being done about all of this. The U.S. Department of Energy has ordered that power stations maximize energy production during summer and winter months, especially during those extreme weather months, putting less strain on transformers. And now, new data centers are now being restricted, as in they have been ordered to supply their own backup power in case power goes out. They don't pull resources from where it's needed. Do I think that there is a potential for a long blackout in the United States? Yes, anything can happen. I'm not going to lie. But overall, I think the chances are very slim.
100,000 people in Memphis, Tennessee woke up today without power. 100,000 people, and I will be remiss to say that Memphis, Tennessee is a predominantly black city. Yesterday, a storm with over 70-mile-an-hour winds hit the Memphis area, uprooting trees and knocking off branches. But you want to know what still has power in Memphis? I'll give you a hint. Elon Musk's data center. Now, my homegirl Amber, who lives in Memphis, Tennessee, put this on a map so you can see those 2 green circles is where the data center is located. So right now what we're going to do is we are going to support local Memphians. My homie Amber is in need of a generator. Amber is a policy organizer out of Memphis, Tennessee, and is always showing up for people in this city, and I want to show up for her. This generator right here we found and priced at around $1,000. So I need you all to send as much as you can to Amber's Venmo, because the ultimate goal is not only to help Amber, but a couple more families who could use a generator right now. And because Amber has the ability to go get them, she is going to pick them up for as many families as she can. Originally, it was speculated that power will be back on Thursday, but MLGW, Memphis Light, Gas, and Power just sent a message to the residents letting them know that there's no estimated time. Please send Amber what you can, when you can, if you can. And if you can't, just disseminate the message and let's get the information out to the people who can.
So we are about day 2.5 of power being out for thousands of people here in Memphis. This update is on August 24th, about 2:20 p.m. MLGW says it will take a few days for power to be restored for all customers. They are estimating that it will take until Thursday, August 27th, for the vast majority of customers' power to be restored. And I'm Imani Williams, a journalist in the Memphis Mid-South area, making sure to bring the news straight to you. So right now I'm seeing just over 36,000 customers without power. Reminder, customers does not mean people. Customers is one household. So power outages started Saturday when a storm came through the Mid-South area, had about 70 miles per hour wind, and that took out power lines, trees, and of course that took out power. At the peak of this, there were over 130,000 customers in the Memphis or MLGW coverage area that was without power. Well, they did just give an update, and it says here that MLGW is not disconnecting for non-payment today while restoration work continues. There are a few community centers that are open as cooling centers and for people to charge their phones. The Hickory Hill Community Center, that is one of the areas that you can go to cool down or to charge your phone, use the restroom. Also, the Orange Mound Community Center, also open today for people to go in, and that is serving as a cooling center now. It's Monday, so a lot of community centers are open, so please use those if you are without power and need it. School, MSCS, the Memphis Shelby County Schools, they are out today. They closed today. Collierville Schools, it was delayed 2 hours, but MSCS closed. Now, I did talk to the superintendent. The superintendent said that he's not sure if school will also be closed on Tuesday. He said he's hopeful that it will be reopened. Right now, there are over 40 schools without power and 4 administrative buildings. He says they also have to look at HVAC systems. They are looking at the bus routes to see if buses can travel down certain roads to pick up students. He says over 20,000 students are impacted by those schools that are without power right now. And then he also added that when power goes out, that means the food may go bad, and so they have to figure that out as well to replenish the food supply at the schools impacted.
So what happened in Indiana now has happened in Tennessee. Severe storms in the area knocked out power all across Memphis, Tennessee. This video was made by a local creator in Memphis, just showing people the damage that has been caused by these storms. And as being reported as of yesterday, 140,000 people was without power. This strong storm system brung down trees, flooded areas, power lines, and outages all across the Shelby County. Now, what was reported as of last night, 40,000 customers had power restored, but that still leaves 100,000 people without power. Now, because of this, MLGW Utility added 250 contract electric line crews and more than 200 tree trimming personnel to restore power. And being reported as of this morning, several streets in the area are still flooded with down power lines and debris everywhere. Seems like the crews in Memphis are on top of their game and plan to have power restored back to customers as soon as possible. Mother Nature really showing us how she feel. It's time to start cutting these trees down if they too close to these power lines. Count me out.
When we tell y'all that Babylon is falling, this is what we mean. So we know that Indiana was dealing with 9 days of shortages in power. Now it has been reported that most of Memphis is out of lights and gas and things of that nature. And this is since August the 23rd. Now, they're saying that 110,000 customers are without power. And this is literally coming from Memphis Light and Gas and Water Company. Now, they're saying that by Thursday, they're going to restore it, right? And that's just including everybody should be restored by Thursday. What I'm hearing is that it's most of Memphis, but not only that, I'm hearing that Michigan is out because of these storms. There have been several storms that has been rocking the Midwest, okay? I'm hearing also Arkansas, some parts of Mississippi, and Western Tennessee. Now, this is interesting because the New York Times had came out with an article talking about the 17 states or 18 states or something like that concerning the power grid. Let me get to my notes real quick because the New York Post, they were talking about how vulnerable, I can't get this video taken down. Basically how vulnerable people's power grids is in a major country, let's just put it like that. And that this major country could result in like 18 months nationwide with blackouts. This is what experts are saying. And this was in the New York Post, mind you. And they're saying that this major very popularity country is at a heightened risk of a catastrophic blackout. Now, this is, so when I seen the article, and this is why I'll be sidelining the people in upper echelons, because there have been several articles that is talking about the 18 months and like 17 states. And mind y'all, in June or July, y'all remember when we went on what was it? We went on like this energy crisis thing. It was like in the news, but nobody really paid attention to it. I'll get to that in a second. But they're basically saying that this catastrophic situation is because of the infrastructure, but potentially vulnerable to a precision weapon strike. Now, I don't think this is by chance. I think this is all setting up for the big reveal. And I have to use code words. If y'all don't know what the big reveal is, I don't know what to tell y'all. Let's just call it the big reveal. The big reveal is what the Bible has prepared all of us for. Babylon's fall. And when the Bible says that it's going to fall like in 1 hour, I believe these are all the setup things, because we're not only just dealing with infrastructure stuff, but things that it's like your livelihood. But y'all remember back in June, it was either June or July, it was 17 states. It was under this federal emergency order because of the heat wave. Y'all remember that? Now they're saying it's all of these storms that is knocking it out because of the vulnerability of the power grid. Now, the U.S. Department of Energy, they authorized additional power resources. That was back, I want to say this was in July. It wasn't in June. This was like in July. I don't think things are coincidental. So you have Michigan, you have Indiana. Of course, these are all Midwest states. Now it's moving more towards South. I seen one person say, yes, some parts of Georgia. I don't know how true this is. All that to say, okay, now that I've updated everybody. When we think, I keep going back to infrastructure because our infrastructure is what the Bible, I believe, is declaring all in 1 hour. But not only that, there's so many things that the Bible speaks of, like the Bible consistently talks about the end times and the famine and the catastrophic events that will happen to the world. There's a lot of states, and we're not hearing about it, that is in black. I'm using code words, I'm choosing it. They're in black right now, a lot of states, because of these storms. DC, y'all know what DC is? It's a code word. DC. Did y'all know Tucker Carlson just did this? And I'll be looking at him because I don't trust him. I think he worked for the upper echelons. But he had did this podcast and they were talking about how the DC people who is running the DCs, that they were going and buying up, what was it? Like the power plants and re-innovating them, or whatever the word is. And this is just interesting. This is not by chance. That's all I'm going to say. They know, the people, the upper echelons, it's exactly on course of what the plan is for apocalyptical things that the Bible has spoken of. But I have to choose my words wisely. They have taken every video down of mine because I keep speaking truth, and I'm going to keep speaking truth. If y'all don't see my videos coming up on here, there's another place that it will be on. Inquiring minds want to know, just search me. That's all I got to say. Here's the thing. Prepare. Because many people, and I go back to this, many people think that we're going to be gone, and I say I mean the Christians, but the Bible is very clear on a lot of scriptures. And the Bible talks that we will be handed over for a time and a half. We're going to be here enduring. The Bible says to endure till the end. We will be here enduring some stuff. I don't know why people endure till the end. You'll be handed over for a time and a half. Did we catch that? So there will be, I'm not saying all, there will be some Christians still here during the apocalyptical times. And it's not that far off. We definitely have some few years, but we're not far off, y'all. This is the full setup. 2027 is setting up. I wouldn't be surprised as soon as we got in 2028, all hell break loose. And there's something more that is coming in September. This is the September to remember is what it's going to be. Yep, we're here. We are here, and anybody who wants to dispute that, you go ahead and argue with yourself. Because it's evident, the Bible is always evident. That's it, that's all.
My name is Jarius Adams, and here's what you need to know. You remember when we talked about residents of Gary, Indiana going more than 2 weeks without power? Well, they still don't have power, but the same thing is happening in Memphis, Tennessee. A severe storm came through Memphis this weekend with winds up to 60 miles an hour. It impacted 130,000 Memphis light, gas, and water customers. And even this Sunday, there's 100,000 people that are still impacted without electricity. The Memphis Light, Gas, and Water says that this is a multi-day project, and they said that full restoration won't happen until probably this Thursday. That's more than a multi-day. That's almost a week. Can you imagine the things that are needed? Now, they said they're prioritizing treatment plants and hospitals and places that, quote unquote, need it faster. But there are folks that are at home on ventilators and need breathing treatments and things that need to be plugged up to electricity. This is really dangerous. It's dangerous. And it's seeing it in so many predominantly black communities. First Gary, Indiana, now Memphis, Tennessee, and it seems like they're ongoing. We have to have a conversation about emergency response or maybe preventative measures, because this can't continue to happen. And the question may be, are communities prepared for extreme weather events? Because losing power is not just an inconvenience. You're talking about refrigeration, medical equipment, the things people need, air conditioning, right? Memphis, Tennessee in the summertime, I'm from Mississippi, I know it is hot. Folks need air. And having to wait almost a week to have your electricity restored is kind of ridiculous, especially by a company that I'm sure if you're late paying your bill, your electricity will be cut off. So stay tuned. We're going to follow for more.
Something very sinister is going on in Gary, Indiana. So you might have seen the videos saying that they've had no electricity for 12 days. People are fighting with each other. The food's run out. That's only half of the flipping story. I've only been going down the rabbit hole for about an hour and I have 5 pages of notes. I need to now go back into everything I've looked at in more detail. But even this overview first look into Gary, Indiana, I've got a shiver running down my spine. There's more to this situation than just, oh, a storm came along and knocked down the electric and this part of Indiana didn't get the electric back quickly. Yes, the fact that the population is, I believe, over 76% black plays into it. But there is also other things that are connected. NIPSCO, which is a Northern Indiana Public Service Company, is the company that manages the electric for Gary, Indiana. And guess who just bought 20% shares in the company? BIP, Blackstone Investment Partnerships. They've also been buying up shares in other energy companies, not only in America, but Europe. BIP is not only connected to renewable energy and energy companies, they're also connected to AI data centers. And Indiana has a disproportionate amount of data centers. In fact, just before the storm hit, local residents were protesting not only the data centers, but the increase in how much they had to pay monthly to NIPSCO. On top of that, I've learned about something called Iron Nation, which is an Israeli capital fund created after October the 7th. It's like a charity fund that strengthens and supports Israeli startups. They're going to have a headquarter in Indiana and they're going to bring Israelis over there and integrate them into the community. But the community's been struck by a storm and everything's destroyed. There's a lot going on. And this is going to be a bit of a deep dive down the rabbit hole. I feel this story of 12 days without electric in Gary, Indiana is about to unearth something far more sinister. So I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'll bring you updates on the apps, but I'm going to make longer videos on the YouTube. So bear with me. As I learn more, I'll bring you in. But seriously, this is kind of deep, scary, and sinister. It feels like Israel is occupying America and it's using black communities to do so, colonizing their communities. This is sinister. I'll keep you updated. Please.
Why are we being told to pay more for electricity when the system still isn't reliable? Why are companies getting access to huge amounts of power while ordinary families are struggling? Those are legitimate questions, and I think we should be asking them without exaggerating the facts. Because the problem isn't technology itself. AI can be useful, technology can create jobs and improve people's lives. The problem is what happens when corporations get the benefit while communities carry most of the cost. Now, let's talk about several storms cause major power outage in the area, leaving many people without electricity. Think about what that means during hot weather. You have families trying to keep their home cool. You have elderly people who may need electricity for medical equipment. You have parents trying to keep food from spoiling. You have schools and business that can't operate normally. It becomes a serious problem. It becomes a serious problem very quickly, but there is where people started paying attention. NEPIS is also home to a major AI data center connected to Elon Musk's AI. A report and local discussion raised questions about the facility's power supply during the outage. Now we need to be careful here. We shouldn't automatically say that the data center caused the blackout. A storm can knock at power regardless of what communities or companies are operating nearby. But the bigger question is still important. How do we make sure communities come first when electricity demand is increasing so dramatically? Because these data centers are not small buildings. They can use the enormous amounts of electricity. And if companies are going to build them, communities deserve transparency. They deserve to know how much electricity will this facility use. Who pays for the updates? Will local electricity bills increase? Who pays for the updates? Will local electricity bills increase? What happens during emergencies? And most importantly, will ordinary residents still have reliable access to power? Those questions shouldn't be controversial. Now let's talk about the bigger issue, because this isn't just about one storm, isn't just about one city, and isn't simple about Elon Musk or one technology company. This is about who gets protected when the system is under pressure. Look at communities like Gary, Indiana. When people are without electricity for days, it doesn't just mean the lights are off. People lose food. People can't properly cool their homes. Small businesses lose money. Children can't always attend school normally. And vulnerable people can face even bigger problems. But what I found powerful is how communities respond. Neighbor helps neighbors, churches provide food, community groups collect supplies, people donate generators, volunteers check on elderly. Is the infrastructure actually being maintained? Are companies investing enough in reality? Are companies investing enough in? And are communities getting a fair deal? Because electricity isn't just some luxury product. We need it to live. We need it for hospitals. We need it for schools. We need it for businesses. We need it for keeping food safe. We need it for keeping vulnerable people safe. So I believe electricity shouldn't be treated as an essential public service first and a business opportunity second. So I believe electricity should be treated as an essential public service first and a business opportunity second. And if America wants to become a leader in artificial intelligence, that is fine. Build the data center, develop the technology, create the jobs, but upgrade the power grid at the same time. Don't make ordinary communities pay the price for America's technology race. And please, let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending that community resilience alone is enough. Yes, we should help our neighbors. Yes, we should check on elderly people during outrages. Yes, communities should support each other. But mutual aid should be a backup, not a replacement for a functional system. We need investment in our infrastructures. We need transparency from utility companies. We need strong rules for massive data centers. And we need to make sure that communities understand how much electricity these facilities will use and use it paying for the upgrades. Because there is a question I want you to think about. If the country has enough electricity to power the next generation of AI, shouldn't it also have enough reliable electricity to keep ordinary families safe? Electricity to keep ordinary families safe. That is the conversation we need to have. Technology should serve people, not the other way around. So besties, tell me what you think. Have you experienced a major power outage in your area? How long did it last? And do you think government should put stronger rule on companies building huge AI data center? Let me know your comments. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Because this conversation matters. Stay safe, stay informed, look out for your neighbors, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Guys.